Okay, hi. If you're watching this video, it probably means that you've already watched hundreds of other videos on the Ally and the Steam Deck. So I just want to skip over the specs and the technicalities, and I just want to share my experience about the device that I settled on. I was in the market for a handheld because, long story short, I discovered a really cool game called Skyrim. I know. 10 years later. I actually just finished watching Game of Thrones not that long ago either. 10 years late, and the wound is still fresh, not going to lie. Anyways, I was thinking about this stupid little Skyrim game all day and all night, and I just wanted to be able to play it wherever and whenever. I was originally playing it on my PC, but I was playing it a lot. I would be playing it up here and I'd be hearing my family spend time together downstairs, watching a movie, just sitting around, whatever. And I needed a medium to bring so that I could still spend time with my family, but I could play as well. I knew about the Steam Deck, but I didn't know about the Ally until I started researching the Steam Deck. And I knew of the Steam Deck, I just never really looked into it because I never really needed it until now. And I don't even know if need is the right word. It's more like a very strong want. Like you probably, I watched a ton of videos on the Steam Deck versus the Ally. I was trying to figure out which one was more suitable for me, and I just spent hours going back and forth. But after watching everyone's reviews, I went with... drum roll please. I went with the Ally. I know. Let me explain. I knew that whatever device I would end up choosing, I wasn't going to get it brand new. I didn't know if I would like it or not, and honestly, I love a deal, and $700 was way out of my budget. Don't be fooled, I'm living at my mom's house. I decided that I would get a Steam Deck if I could get it for $200, and I would get the Ally if I could get it for $400. Ended up finding a guy who was willing to sell his Ally for $400, but he was almost trying to deter me not to buy it. It kind of worried me. He definitely knew what he was talking about, and I think he had the impression that I was replacing my PC with this, which is not the case. I also think he was just being genuinely nice and trying to look out for me, but also, are you trying to sell this thing? Or he knew I wanted to play Skyrim on it, and I told him I had a Switch, and he encouraged me to buy the game for the Switch, but I didn't want to because I was planning on playing other games, and I saw what the Ally could do. I saw the performance, I saw the graphics, and I love the way that it looks. Plus, the Switch can feel super uncomfortable when you're holding it for long periods of time. I'm what you would consider a casual gamer, so no, I didn't need a $400 to $700 device to play a 10-year-old game, but I wanted to. What really drew me to the Steam Deck were those track pads. I think those were so cool. I like the joysticks and how they're directly across from each other, the interface, that console feel. I saw one guy like tilting the device when he was playing a first-person shooter just to it was just like a slight adjustment, and when he was moving the Steam Deck, he was adjusting his cursor through his device. I thought that was so cool. Granted, I don't know if that's just like that game. However, besides the fact that I found someone who was willing to sell their Ally within the price point that I wanted, the tipping point for me was the screen. I have the original Switch, so when my sister came home with a brand new OLED screened Switch with the smaller bezels, I swear I didn't touch my Switch after that. Comparison is the thief of joy, because I was fine with my Switch until I saw hers. And when you put them next to each other, it is really hard to not want that OLED screen. And I saw the screen on the Steam Deck. It's not bad at all. It's just when you compare the two, it's kind of a no-brainer. And my logic was, I'm going to be staring at the screen 100% of the time that I'm using it. I want it to be a beautiful screen. That's just me. A lot of people don't really care about that. The other reason I got the Ally is so that I could download other platforms. I play Overwatch, I play Fortnite with my dad and my sister, and I think the hardware is slightly better on the Ally, but from what I've read, the Steam Deck can do everything that the Ally can. Side note, there's no aim assist when I was playing Fortnite, even when I was in handheld mode, so aiming with the joysticks is useless. I haven't tried any AAA titles on there yet, but I plan to, and I would love to see how Starfield or Hogwarts Legacy could run on there. Another reason I really wanted the Ally is because it's literally a computer in a small form factor. But, oh man, you are really getting that PC experience, all right. I underestimated how many little nuances would come up before I actually got into a game. I don't really want to call them problems because I guess they're not really problems. They're just a lot of minor inconveniences. Let me show you how long it takes from starting the device to actually getting into a game. Here's the startup, and right as I enter my fingerprint, it takes us to the armory, which is where all the applications lie. And now it's logging me into Steam. Finally about to play. And it doesn't open the game automatically. I have to swipe up from the bottom to get into the game. I wouldn't be surprised if the Steam Deck took half the amount of time. When I was first getting the device and it was factory reset, it took about 30 minutes of setup and another 30 minutes of downloading updates. Not only that, but when I was in the beginning stages of the setup, sometimes the keyboard wouldn't pop up when I was clicking the text box. So you're just randomly pressing the buttons on this device trying to figure out which one brings up the keyboard, and then you become increasingly frustrated and you have to look it up. And once you're finally set up and in your Microsoft account, you have to go to 3 different applications and update all of them. At this point, you're tired, it's 1 a.m. and you have work tomorrow. You download the game you want to play, you come home from work, you're finally ready to play. This happens a lot. I don't know why, and I don't know how to fix it besides resetting the entire game. I don't know if it's exclusively to Skyrim, but it's extremely frustrating. There is nothing more immersion breaking than Skyrim Inception. It can really take you out of the game when you're on a good one. Also, the buttons on the top, the volume buttons, don't work when you're in the game. And you can either go to the side menu, which is the easiest way, or you can do it the complicated way like I did. Either way, the buttons don't work when you're in game, and that's kind of dumb. The SD card slot, I just don't bother with it. The previous owner didn't bother with it either, and I don't want to chance it, so I kind of just act like that feature doesn't exist. I was already planning on updating the SSD anyways, so it's not that big of a deal to me. And yes, the Ally is portable to an extent. I hardly ever play this thing without it being plugged in. One, I like running it on turbo, even though it's so unnecessary for a game like that. But I just want to make sure that it's running to its full potential. And 2, it will hardly last an hour if it's not plugged in. Side note, the device gets extremely hot on turbo. You can hardly touch the back. I think I've tried to put it down on my leg a few times just for a second, and I couldn't. It's so hot. But even after all those small inconveniences, the updates, the occasional clunkiness, once you're finally in the game, it is fun. When I'm playing, it's like all those small hoops that I had to jump through just to get to the game was worth it. It's such a beautiful device. It's nice to hold, beautiful graphics, beautiful sound system. It's really hard to not be encapsulated when you're playing with it. It is very beautifully crafted. I mean, with good, there's always bad, right? But after all of that, even though I already have the Ally, I still want the Steam Deck. I want the seamless UI console-like feel. I want to be able to pause a game and then jump back into it no matter how much time has passed. Whether I'm putting the device down for like 5 minutes or 5 hours, I want to be able to pick it up and play right where I left off. I want to see how fast it would take me from turning on the device to getting into an actual game. I want to be able to play without having to worry that there's a wall charger near me. I want to feel the trackpads and the ergonomic grips. There are so many attractive features about the Steam Deck that if the screen wasn't an issue for me, I probably would have gone with the Steam Deck. It's all these little things that you wouldn't think would have a big impact on your experience that seems to set the Steam Deck from the Ally. I think we have the Legion Go coming out next, which is awesome for us. But honestly, I haven't watched any videos about it yet, just because I'm scared that I'm going to want to impulsively buy it when it comes out. I think I'm still going to get the Steam Deck if I can get it for $200, or I might just wait for a sale. I would love to make a more in-depth review when I get my hands on a Steam Deck, but I just used the last of my money on that thing right there. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments, if you guys have a Steam Deck or an Ally or both or none, whichever. If you guys are in the market for a handheld, let me know which one you guys are thinking of. Please like, please subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.